Wow. I have to catch my breath after that one. Thank you, Dina. I am last. And I will say, sitting in that seat for the last several hours has made me more and more and more excited to be in front of all of you this afternoon. Because every person, every woman, every amazing woman that got up and spoke, the next gal built upon her message and the next one. Did you feel that? And I have chills, like shivers right now everywhere on my body because it is just so synchronistic how this all unfolds. My name is Christine Howard. My chapter is Radiant Achievement. We're going to take a deep dive today in two things that I'll introduce in a second. But I want to start with a couple questions. How many of you, and I love that we just talked about connection, how many of you feel disconnected from your true radiance? And if you were to really be honest with yourself, you may even admit you don't even think about radiance when you think about yourself. Yeah, a lot of nods, some hands up. Switching gears, how many of you feel that in order to have a successful, fulfilling life, you need to be in control? Great, you are in the right place then to have this conversation with me today. Because the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, we have been told so many stories in our lifetime, right? Stories of we're too much, we're not enough, we need to be more quiet, we need to stand in the background, or we need to take the bull by the horns, and if we want something, we have to just go for it no matter what, right? So today, in my time with you, we're going to break some myths about radiance and control. And my intention is by the end of this, you will be connected with your true radiance, and you will have let go of some things you might be holding on to that are holding you back from living your most fulfilling life. Before I dive into all the goodness of that, I want to share a little bit of my journey and how I got to be so grateful to stand in front of you all beautiful radiant souls today. So back in 2014, I was doing my best to control my life. Back then, I was a mom, I was a corporate wife, I had 2 young adult children, and I was wearing every hat you could think of in the household. Can you relate to wearing multiple hats? Absolutely. And how I lived my life was going through the motions. Who was talking about the do? That was me. I had kids getting ready for college. I had a son actually almost getting kicked out of school and close to going to jail. I had a husband who was never around. We had vacations to plan, home remodeling to do, yada, yada, yada. It was living the good life, but not really being present. I love how this all weaves together. That was me back then. And I felt like the more I tried to control things and create or really have this life of what I envisioned, the worse things got. Right? It just started to kind of slowly spin out of control. And one day, I received a phone call, and it was a wake-up call that I ultimately came to be grateful for, and that was that I had breast cancer. It was early stage, non-invasive. It was a lucky wake-up call. But what did I do? True to form, I went into control mode. How can I fix this? I'm going to put a plan together. I'm going to research. I'm going to find the best doctor, the best treatment. I'm going to get rid of this in record time. That was my plan. And it didn't quite work out that way. I did go into treatments, and I started really, what I was able to do is figure out that I wasn't taking care of myself. Self-care was non-existent. It was like pit stops when the tank was below empty, right? So I was able to start taking care of myself. I journaled, I meditated, I took walks on the beach, I took naps, and I started to have a new love and appreciation for myself. I started to actually feel pretty hopeful for life and a little bit more in control, not because I was doing, but because I was being, right? And it started to ignite a few things with me. 4 months after my treatment started, both shoes fell off the feet when I got this announcement from my husband of 21 years that he was done with our marriage. He had found a new love, he was moving on, and we were done. Guess what? I couldn't control anything anymore. I had this really loud voice inside that said, let go. I knew for my health, for my well-being, for my future, if I tried to hang on and beg and plead and figure and strategize, I would be going down the wrong path. So I let go. And I let go of everything. Friendships. I let go of this vision that I had created for my life. We were going to be empty nesters. We were going to vacation. We had this 20-year friend network. All of that I decided to let go. And it was the best gift I gave myself in doing that. Because when I let go, I decided I need to look at how I got here and who had I become. Now that I wasn't this do person, I'd become disconnected with my true essence. And I started turning over these rocks, and the rocks were stories about my life, how I wasn't enough. I wasn't worthy. I had put myself in the back seat, the way back seat, to support everybody else's dreams and goals. And I had forgotten about the dreams and the goals that I had from a really little girl. I was able to, through my healing and through letting go of those old stories, start to reignite my creativity, reconnect with my true essence, find joy in the things I used to love to do, start doing things I never thought I could do, because growing up, I had crazy ideas. I wanted to go in the Peace Corps. My dad said, "Why are you thinking to do that? That's crazy." My husband, I had lots of ideas for products, and why do you want to do that? That's crazy. So I had this thing of, my ideas are crazy. I let that go. And I started to look at who I was at my truest essence. And that led me to reconnect with my true radiance. So I want to give you a new expanded definition of radiance. Because when we think of radiance, what's the first thing? Your external beauty, right? It's maybe your body. You have this perfect shape. Again, the airbrush, everything's airbrushed. So radiance, ladies, is not woo-woo. It is actually a gift that we've been given. And this gift is magnetic. Have you ever walked into a room and you can just, like, the energy of this room, you can feel the energy that women are exuding, right? So we're all born with that. The question is, are we covering it up, or are we letting it shine? So I have a quote. Well, here's my definition of radiance. Radiance, the radiance of a woman is fully expressed when she wholeheartedly loves herself, puts her gifts and talents into action, and passionately pursues the callings of her soul. Write it down. And I love that this is all about rising, right? So when we rise in our radiance, we are not rising in some external fluffy thing. We are rising in the essence of who we are, and we are bringing our essence, our truth, our authenticity to the world. We are change makers. We are leaders, right? We want to make a difference in whatever capacity we are personally, individually, and uniquely gifted to do. So when you connect with that inner calling, you are igniting your radiance. So I want to do a quick exercise. Surprise, surprise. and I want you to feel your radiance. So if you could put down whatever you're writing with, and you don't have to have your feet on the floor, but I would love you to close your eyes. And gentlemen, this is for you too, because we all have that inner power, that inner radiance we possess. So if you close your eyes, put your hand on your heart. And visualize in the center of your heart a small but bright glowing flame. And this flame represents your true essence, your true radiance. And that flame grows by us seeing our uniqueness, our gifts, our talents, our passions and desires. So visualize and reflect on, what are you passionate about? What unique gift and talent do you bring to this world? What are those qualities that you are most proud of that you possess? And as you think about these different elements, look and see that flame growing and expanding. So now it's bigger than your heart. It starts to move through every cell of your body, where your whole body now is lit up with your radiance, your uniqueness, your gifts, your talents, your passions, your desires. And it's all expressed by doing and following your calling. And now you can't contain it in your body anymore. It's beyond your body, several feet out beyond your body, now into the room. And feel how that feels, that space that you take up, that when you walk in a room, someone can feel it. And that glow, that energy is you authentically being you, owning who you are in every way, and bringing those callings to life. Breathe that in, feel that. Acknowledge it and be grateful for who you are as a beautiful, radiant soul. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I have the chills. Does anybody feel really good after connecting? Did that help? Warmth? Awesome. I love it. I will say, when I was on my healing journey, I started doing mirror work. And it was really scary to look in the mirror and say, I love you. It felt so awkward. But after a while, I not only said, I love you, I acknowledged something that I love and appreciate about myself. And I challenged myself to find something different every day. And little by little, I didn't just say the words, I felt it in my body. And when you start to feel that gratitude, you feel that appreciation for yourself, it grows. And I guarantee part of why I have the confidence to write the chapter, to write my own book, to do the work that I'm doing is because I have connected with my essence, and I'm not comparing myself to each of you. I see myself reflected in you, and I see the beauty and the radiance of your souls, and I see the beauty and radiance of my soul. And I just love and appreciate that we all have these different contributions to make. So I hope you walk away with looking at radiance from a different perspective. We can dim our radiance. Now that we have connected to our radiance, we dim our radiance because we try to control things that is not our business to control. Now, I'm fine, and I love and appreciate, and I'm a big achiever. I love being proactive. I love having a vision. I love planning when it's appropriate. But boy, did I need to let go of some things. So there's 3 what I call radiant shifts that I made in my journey that I want to offer up to you as something to consider and to look at and see where you might be in your life. The first thing was, for me, the goals that I chose back then, before my awakenings, I like to say, I needed somebody's approval. So if my husband or my father or a family member or a boss approved of it, great. If they didn't, I'm like, well, then that's probably not a goal I should pursue. I'll go look elsewhere for something to do. So I let go of looking for others' approval. And I love, Lisa Nichols said, I've heard her say this more than once, your dream is your dream. Other people might not necessarily get it and be on board with it, and that's okay. when we have to let that go, needing that approval, and then take a stand for your own worth, for your own value, for what it is that's calling to you. So let go of others' approval and take that stand. We don't need to control what we do based on other people. Then the second thing I learned, or how I saw myself controlling things, and I talked about it a little bit in my story, is I had to have everything figured out. Like, I wouldn't start a project until I had the details, the research was done, I talked to 3 experts, 5 friends, you name it. I couldn't pull that trigger. You know why? Because I was afraid of making a mistake. Patrina, I love what you said. Just like take responsibility, make a decision. Whew, yeah. I'm a lot better now, like pretty reformed. There's a few areas I'm still slow, but we don't have to have it figured out. And the thing that I found when I let go of having it all figured out, and I took a stand to trust my inner wisdom, to trust the universe, that there was wisdom, there were resources. The next steps presented themselves to me. So many times I would get a phone call or an email or overhear a conversation. I had these very serendipitous events occur, like, oh, that's a great idea. Oh, that's my next step. I didn't even have to research. Imagine that. So my life really started to go into a place of flow. And when we let go of trying to control everything, we get into a place of trust and openness and letting those next steps evolve. Life will flow. Grace and ease will happen, and we will still move forward, right? And we do it with more joy. So take a look at how that might be showing up or not showing up in your life. And then the last way was definitely the most significant for me. Again, we live in this culture of looking externally and comparing, okay, what should I be doing? What's the latest business idea? What's the latest get quick rich scheme? What's the latest? What are my friends doing? My neighbors doing? Especially in my marriage, there was a lot of keeping up with the Joneses. And we did things because everybody else was doing them. And in my journey, I saw where I had points of joy, and there were things, certainly having my kids is still very fulfilling, and I'm a grandma now, so that's even better. Yay! But that joy was fleeting, right? So when I stopped looking externally for fulfillment, and I looked inside to the callings of my soul, to what my intuition was telling me, my higher self, and I, without apologizing, without over-explaining, without over-planning, decided I'm going to follow those, I am feeling more fulfilled, more joyful, more radiant than I ever have in my life. And I feel like I'm at the midpoint of my life. I have a long way to go, and this is amazing. So to have this second opportunity, and it's never too late. That is a hashtag I use all the time in my social media, wherever you are, right? And I've heard some amazing stories and ideas and callings. You're there right now. What can you do tomorrow to take that step forward, to step more into your calling, to love yourself more, to appreciate more that uniqueness that you're bringing? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to rise in radiance. I have a pledge that I would love for all of us to read together. And at your tables, I have a postcard. It has a little bit of information about what I do. But on the back is an attached business card that has a pledge that says, Rise in Radiance Pledge. And I will apologize in advance. I revised this, created this, and I see a typo, so we will skip over the typo. But let's all say it together. I let go of my need to have it all figured out. I take a stand to trust my inner wisdom. I let go of my need for others' approval. I take a stand to be responsible for my own happiness and success. I let go of looking externally for fulfillment. I take a stand to find fulfillment by looking inward and pursuing the callings of my soul. It's a courageous path. You don't have to do it alone. There's groups and movements, which is amazing time that we live in, like what Marsha's doing, the work that I'm doing. I encourage you as you step forward out this room today, continue to stepping into your highest callings, your highest self, and your most beautiful, true radiance. Thank you so much for your time with me today.
We have more fun. Who'd like to take another break? Are you having fun doing that? Want to take a quick break, maybe till 10 after 5? Okay. There's something at your table, though, I want you to take a look at. There's a postcard there from a beautiful hairdresser that's here in Pasadena. And she has a private VIP studio that's excellent, and she's offering us, because of who you are as amazing women, a complimentary protein treatment and 25% off any hair service of your choice. So I want you to take a look at that, especially those of you who live in or near the Pasadena area. She's really good, and I think you'd love meeting her. It's a very private experience, too. It's a private studio. So here's what I want you to do during the break. I want you to find a friend that you have not yet met, and I'd like you to say to her, I'm putting rumble into my rising. I'm putting a rumble into my rising. And I want you to connect with somebody that you've not connected with. Sometimes we come to these and we hang out with the people that we know. This is all about stretching. This is all about expanding. This is all about meeting new people, making that connection. So I'm going to challenge you to do that. Let's come back at 10 after 5, and we're going to continue on, and we've got a great 45 minutes left in the day. Okay.